Let me get in the picture with the tenants and neighbors. I said, let me get in
So
the
this is not the preliminary vote of the Rent Guidelines Board.
我们离开了，因为租金评审委员会没有尊重我们的老百姓和住客。
We left because the Rent Guidelines Board does not respect the workers.
That's right.
租金评审委员会没有告诉我们，没有公开在哪里时间、哪里地点。
The rent guidelines has signed off on rent adjustments for the last 50 years that have given such a huge windfall to landlords. And now that the tenants are fighting back and trying to make changes on the legislative end, you know, the board and this administration don't like to see them fight back and really take a stand against it. We're not going to sit down, take a sitting down, you know, you trying to raise rents on 1 million households in a way that's going to cripple people.
You spoke about how the system, the board needs to be reformed or got rid of. What would that look like to you? What would actual meaningful reform or change to this system look like?
So there's others within the movement that can certainly speak to this more, but I know that there's been some legislation around the idea of reducing the number of members on the board and then also building in a check and balance where the city council would have either veto power or a say in checking the appointees that are done by the mayor. That way you don't get into this scenario where, surprise, surprise, Mayor Adams comes into power and then it's a complete departure away from what happened under parts of the Blasio, right? He came in and quite literally over 3% every year on a 1 year, you know? And it makes you wonder as to, okay, did the mayor come in and kind of say, hey, this is what I would love to see out of the Rent Guidelines Board as long as I'm mayor? I don't know.
And what's the next step after this? Is it just going back to the regular borough meetings?
Yeah, I can guarantee it'll be an awkward meeting. But yeah, I'll do my duty as I'm required to. On the record, I put out there what we would have voted for. They have a quorum, so they can go ahead and continue to vote on rent increases that are going to abuse tenants, and I don't have to necessarily participate in that, but I am still doing my duty.
The mayor is sort of the elephant not in the room today, and after elephant in the room, it's never in the room. Sorry. What would you say to him if you could address what just passed?
What I would say to the administration is, if you really care about low-income folks and people of color and tenants in the city and the fabric of this city, you need to interject yourself into this, and you need to come out publicly and advocate for a rent rollback, a rent freeze, or something really low to even consider pulling those numbers that they've gone, you know, that the train has gone wild with down.
Do you actually know what numbers they passed?
I don't, but I can guarantee you it's at least the 2%. And again, this is the range, right? The last 2 years it was a 2 to 5 on a 1 year, and they settled at above a 3. You know what I mean? So I don't anticipate anything less. And well, yeah, leave it at that.
Thank you, Adon.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm studying to be a computational physicist, and by the way, they,
Sorry, I'm looking for Andrea. Oh.
Such data, I was just so honestly insulted. I was listening to your data.
Yeah.
And honestly, I'm just
I appreciate you coming out, and I couldn't agree more. I mean, you know, it's one thing to twist data, it's one thing to ignore data, and I think fundamentally they just don't weigh data on our side of things in the correct way to really paint an accurate picture about the harm that's being done.
Yeah, they tell us to tighten our belts and all that, and it's just getting solid.
Yeah, I agree. Nice to meet you.
For all of you, what is your opinion on social housing? Are you familiar with that?
I am in some ways familiar on social housing. I'm for social housing.
No, there is a bill on the state. It's called social housing. Look into it.
Okay.
So I think that might be a better idea than this because.
Right. Yeah.
This is
I can say in my
these
in my-
vouchers like housing voucher for all and all those vouchers basically is making them more billionaires.
No, I know that.
So it's better to have. I believe social housing might be better.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you. I think that
I'm not guaranteeing. I'm just it might be better idea.
yeah. No, I hear that. I think in the interim, if we can't get to that place, just thinking about other things to help folks, I think the subsidies do help people for now, but I agree with you that like the aspiration is for something different.
I think social housing is better idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I never would have. The one good thing that came out of this is that I'm now friends with my neighbors. And it's a beautiful thing. And Bronstein needs to be held accountable. They do not want to fix anything in our building, and we have huge dumpsters outside our building for all of the renovating, and I use that term very lightly because I think we know what a renovation means. It's a coat of paint that they're claiming $40,000 for. And shame, right? And they're all, and we just can't let them get away with it. And it was hard to see all those people up there looking like they don't care, but I think all of us care, and if we continue to fight, I'm really privileged to be in this fight with you, so thank you.
Give it up for Amanda. Got a couple more speakers, guys. Claire Valdez.
What is that clear about this?
Hello, everyone. My name is Claire Valdez. I'm running for state assembly here in District 37, Long Island
One
City.
mic. One mic.
Long Island City, Sunnyside, Woodside, Ridgewood, and Maspeth. I live in Ridgewood, and we've seen rent-stabilized units disappear over the last few years. It was disgusting to be in that room and to watch rent guideline board members not even look at us, not even make eye contact, not even have the sense of shame that they should have had as we were standing there screaming for the dignity that we deserve as tenants.
That's right.
We know whose side Kathy Hochul is on. We know whose side Eric Adams is on. And we know who's writing their checks. We know who is supporting them. It's REBNY, it's corporate landlords across the city. And working people are not stupid. We know the score. Our families are suffering as the rent is going up and up and up across Queens. We're scraping by. We're working 2, 3, 4 jobs just to pay the rent. And meanwhile, REBNY, corporate landlords are lining their pocketbooks with our rent. And our families are being displaced. We're facing eviction, we're facing displacement across the board. I'm so proud to be standing in solidarity with tenants from across the city, and I'm sorry that you all had to come so far on such short notice just to make your voices heard, but trust me, even though they weren't looking at us, even if they were looking away, they heard us tonight. And they know that tenants are going to come back again tomorrow and the next day and the next day and the next day, because these are our homes, these are not portfolios, these are not investments, these are homes where our families are going to live for decades. Thank you all, and thank you especially to our members on the rent guidelines board for standing strong, for having a principled stance, and for being on the side of tenants and working families across the city. And thank you all for being here tonight too.
All right, guys, we have one more speaker. And I need everybody to listen here because it's the other member of the Rent Guidelines Board, Genesis.
Good evening, buenas noches. Gracias por venir, gracias por su apoyo. Gracias por venir, gracias por su apoyo. Hoy salimos porque no queríamos seguir con las farsas, ¿verdad? Today we came out because we didn't want to continue with the sham. They already, like I said inside, they already came here with their minds made up. They already wanted to increase the rent, at least, from 2 to 6.7, 6 point something. That's what they ended up voting. So they were going to do that regardless whether we were in there or not. So might as well just step out and let them continue with that. At the same time, we must understand that we have the power because we are the majority, and we must exercise our power. Tenemos que entender que nosotros somos la mayoría y tenemos el poder. Y tenemos que ejercitar nuestro poder como mayoría, votando, by voting, by getting involved in every step of politics and the process of the RGB, right? Especially,
People need to wake up. People need to wake up.
yeah, we need to send a strong message to Mayor Adams, right? He needs you in order to win again. Even though he got a lot of money from the real estate, he needs votes, and you are the votes. We are the votes. So that's our power, right? So, yeah, nosotros tenemos el poder y tenemos que mandar un mensaje muy fuerte al alcalde de que no vamos a votar por él si sigue aumentando la renta, porque somos la mayoría. A pesar de que él tiene mucho dinero de bienes raíces, nosotros tenemos el poder y el voto. Entonces tenemos que ejercitarlo. Y también un mensaje fuerte a la gobernadora, que también recibe mucho dinero de bienes raíces.
Exacto.
Y nos sacó, básicamente nos sacó del proceso en el estado.
The cash assistance
We also
también.
need to send a strong message to the governor that, you know, she took a lot of real estate and took us out of the equation this year in the budget, right? So it is on us now, you know, to activate and use what we have, our voices and our power. I think we did great by coming out and not staying in there. Yeah, so that's that. Honestly, if I had to say more, I don't
Yes, you can say more.
my vote being valuable inside by just voting basically to put a rope on my own neck and the neck of my family members, right? I'm the daughter of domestic workers. People in my family make a minimum wage, which they reflect the majority of the people. So why would I vote for an increase again that would displace my own community, right? And displace a lot of the people who are here, right? I don't see this vote attached from anything that is happening at the international level. What is happening in Palestine is not so disconnected from what is happening here today. Right? They want, what is happening over there is protecting the capitalist class, and that's what they expect us to do.
I have a question. Are you familiar with social housing?
We need to decommodify housing, we need social housing, and the way to do that is by not voting for increase. So,
No, social housing, there is a state bill that is called Social Housing Authority. You can explain to her what is that about?
yeah,
So, what is your opinion on that?
I support it. Yeah.
Okay.
Bueno, lo que está sucediendo hoy aquí no es diferente a lo que sucede a nivel internacional, lo que está pasando en Palestina, que quieren apoyar a la clase capitalista, ¿no? Cualquier incremento en la renta es una horca a la clase trabajadora, a la clase de inquilinos. Así que stay in your power, que quedémonos con nuestro poder y ejercitémoslo.
All right, that's all we got for tonight. One more time with me, say, fuck you, Nestor!
Fuck you, Nestor!
Fuck you, RGB!
Fuck you,
Give
RGB!
yourself a round of applause!
Always, always. My pleasure.
Thanks for coming!
I'm going. It's going to take me an hour and a half to get home. Probably you too. Yeah. Don't worry about it. We'll figure it out tomorrow.
Okay. Nice seeing you, bro. Get home safe, please.
You too. Nice to see you again. Nice to see you. What's going on?
How'd it go?
Good shit.
Yeah. Do you want me to hold it?
Dinek, D-I-N-I-C-K. I'm politically centrist.
Okay.
Neither Democrat nor Republican. Politically centrist. Well, my candidate is Susan Villahaki. He's my candidate for president. I don't care about Trump. I don't care about Biden.
Got it.
I know that.
Look, this is what I put on Twitter and Instagram.
Oh, that's what happened?
Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
Oi.
No, give me the name first before you start.
Hey, it's Anne Marie and Dominique here. How you feeling
Hey, hi. Subscribe to
today?
Dainik
Martinez.
Yeah, support because the rent is too.
The rent is too damn high.
Yes, thank you.